Hello there and happy Mother's Day weekend to all who are moms and are being celebrated, to those who still have a mom to celebrate, and to those who have been estranged from your moms or have lost them. This year is my first year without my mom for Mother's Day, and I decided to make a drawing in her honor. She was an artist, as I've talked about before, and I seem to be doing this mother-baby type of drawing thing. I'll link you to another video in the doobly-doo if you want to see some deer. But today what I want to do is try something a little bit different, and I want to ask you to do something. Look at the drawing that I'm doing today. I'm doing this on stipple paper, and guess right now, before you even watch the rest, what colors. I used 3 pencils, Prismacolor pencils, and I think they're going to be a little bit unexpected. And it was an experiment in seeing what relative color does. When you see one color next to another, it's going to do something different based on what it's next to. So let's see how these 3 colors play out. A few videos ago, I shared the making of a color chart with you, and I created a class with this little baby elephant. Her name is Ella, and I teach a lot about color theory. You'll learn a ton about how to use color in that class, and it's only $7. That's why I call it a snack class. But we're going to do this project today, and this one is an elephant, mother and calf, in honor of my mom. My mom passed away last year, so this is my first Mother's Day without her, as I said, and I just wanted to make something that I could be thinking about her this week. So I spent many hours getting this whole thing ready to draw and then doing the drawing and the coloring inside of all these lines. Now, this is stipple paper. It has a tremendous amount of texture to it. And you can press a pen so that it kind of makes a line so you can get an edge to things. If you just use pencil, you won't get a crisp outside edge. And I decided to even draw in a lot of the wrinkles and see if that would help or not. I didn't have any idea, so why not try it? But I also wanted to figure out what colors to use. I was going to use those rainbow colors, the pinks and yellows and blues that I had used in the class with Ella. But since I already did that, and I like doing things that are different, I don't like doing the same thing again, I decided to try something different. And I decided to use a trio of colors, a triadic combination. And this is a combination you probably have seen before. It is a Halloween type of combination, orange, green, and purple. But I chose ones that were a little on the darker side, a little on the desaturated side, because I wanted to mix them. And mixing them is going to allow me to do a lot of different things in the drawing that's going to allow relative color to come into effect. And you'll see what I mean. Now, the grid of colors here at the top is not going to be overly helpful. Aside from, I can tell which colors to add to which ones to make them more desaturated. Because as you saw in that photo, those are not going to be okay with bright colors. We need to have something on the duller, softer side. And you can tell here as well, the square I'm coloring in right now is the same 2 colors as on the one on the left in the center, but it looks different when you put one color down first and the other color on top. So the order can make a big difference depending on your paper. I'm not going to say this all the time, but depending on your paper, it could make a difference. Because when you put one color down at the bottom, it may accept less pigment on top, which means you're going to have more of a color cast because of what's underneath. So I decided, instead of doing the same kind of swatch blobs that I did on the left with a graduated box, I'll link you to that video so you can see that. I'm going to have a whole link fest down there, aren't I? But instead of doing a graduated blend of 3 colors, I thought I would try a blend of 3 colors just in a square, but in different orders, just to see what happens. So I tried the orange first, and then the green, and then the purple, and then started with the purple and added the green to it, and then I'll add the orange. And each one of these is going to turn out a little bit differently. And I could have done some other boxes to get other orders in there, but this was good enough for me to be able to tell which colors are going to get me more towards something that is brownish versus something like the center one is going to be a little bit more on the neutral grayish side, simply because it started with purple. And the one that started with orange is going to have more of a brown tone. So anywhere where I want it to have a little bit of that warmer color, I'm going to want to start it out with some of the orange color. And, you can go over these in many layers, and throughout this entire drawing, I can't even tell you how many layers, because I was trying to get some real darks, and this paper isn't great at using real darks unless you do something else to it. And while I could have done things to it, a lot of people were suggesting that I give some blending solution a try. I didn't want to lose the texture. I wanted to see how far I could take this without using other tools and just use the stippling paper itself. And just layered and layered and layered and layered and layered until the cows came home. And I don't know if you can hear them out there. They're in my front yard mooing, because that's how long it took. It was days and days of sitting here coloring, but it was so much fun, very relaxing. This paper is fairly easy to get an even coverage on the paper. You can do a whole, like when you're coloring the base tone, just scribble back and forth, and you will get some lines to it. But it's pretty easy to go in circles then on top of that with your next layer and even things out. Like somehow it just averages things. The only area that I found it challenging to get an even coverage was on a large open area like the ear, which you'll see in a few minutes, because that was a very pale coverage. So I didn't have a lot of layers to help me build that up. But let's talk about relative color. Relative color is how one color looks relative to another color near it. You'll notice that even though if you stare at a particular area of this drawing, you'll start to see a hint at some green or a hint at the purple or the orange. But when you look at it overall, you just get the impression of the mixing of the colors. You get things that your eye tells you are browns and grays. And I spent my time just kind of turning away from the drawing and turning back and suddenly realizing, oh my gosh, look at that color. Oh, look at that color. Because each one, as it touches another, whether it's beside it or whether it's on top of it and layering it, sometimes I would look at a spot and I couldn't even describe what color I was seeing because it was so beautiful. This area of light green at the top of the ear ended up getting covered with a really light coverage of the purple and turned into the most beautiful gray I think I've ever seen. And it's really hard to describe how the drawing morphs in front of you. But some of these colors look very different in different contexts. So here you can see the orange is a very strong color if I'm really pressing down with it, and then it can be muted. But that's the same pencil that was used on the front edge, that leading edge of the trunk of the calf. And it looks very different over there because it's covered with just a slight bit of the purple. And then each of these colors, as I put the purple over them, it acts as a desaturation of the color that was already there. So you don't end up seeing a whole lot necessarily of some of these individual colors unless I really push them. But as you step back from the drawing, even if you're, looking and you're zooming in your eyeballs, focusing on one particular spot that has a lot more purple in it or a lot more green in it, when you step back and you look at the effect of the whole drawing, the relative color bounces off of each other until your eye starts to mix them all. And they start to feel like browns and grays. But they're so much more lively than you will ever get from brown and gray pencils. So a little funny story. I was sitting on the sofa the other night and hanging out with the dogs while I was working on the mama elephant and slogging through that. And I heard this lady on the local TV news, and she quoted somebody who said that we only need 5 pencils. We're going to have to make do with 5 pencils. And I just looked at that lady on that TV and thought, she's insane. Artists need all of our pencils. I want all of my hundreds of pencils in all of my brands and all of my colors, even if I don't use them all at the same time. There is nothing like a limited color set like this one to make a drawing like this come alive. This is so much more interesting than the photo ever was because of the way the colors are playing off each other. It's almost like there's something reflecting and bouncing color off of each part of these elephants, even though that's not what's happening. But each color takes its turn on the stage. There's little spots where the green starts to try to pop, and then right next to it, a purple steals the attention. And then here comes the orange to guide you over here. It's just so much more interesting than if you just picked up brown pencils. So that's my drawing for today. I miss you, Mom. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me on this Mother's Day weekend. Go do something to either celebrate or honor your mom, whether you're with her or she's gone. Because that's what I'm going to do. I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye.